Good morning, YouTube. It is Saturday, January 13th, 2024, 9:22 a.m. Central Standard Time. A cold morning in the DFW Metroplex. It's only going to get colder. Bundle up. It's time. It's time for our yearly freeze. Might get one or two of these a year, and here comes one of them. So a busy slate of games last night. Not a lot of takeaways, right? I think the biggest news story, obviously, is probably the Bulls had a ceremony to honor the 1996 championship team, and unfortunately Jerry Krause was booed. The memory of Jerry Krause, obviously Jerry Krause passed away a few years ago, but the memory of Jerry Krause was booed, and unfortunately his widow was in attendance, and it was just a sad scene to say the least. That just makes me sad. I don't know. That makes me want to go hug my grandma. And this is where... So obviously they see Thelma Krause, his wife, pop up on the screen, and then everyone kind of stops the booing. Because I was like, oh wait, our actions do have consequences. This is where like the strange... So I gotta ask, right? This was 30 years ago, and just the average age of people in attendance at a Bulls game, and this might be a little bit different because they were honoring the 1996 team, so maybe an older crowd went to the game just to see it. But you know damn well a lot of the people booing there weren't even around for it. Like, they weren't even around for it. They just saw it on the documentary and shit and thought they could get in on booing him because everyone hates him, right? I watched The Last Dance. Everyone hated Jerry Krause. Let's all boo him. Always kind of been a weird thing to me. Like, you guys won 6 fucking championships, man. I don't know. Like, this guy was the GM of your team. You won 6 rings. I get that maybe some stuff didn't go the right way, and maybe he made the wrong choice here and there. Like, they hated him for letting Horace Grant walk. Okay, he didn't want to run it back. All right, I mean that is a bad that is bad. But how much of that was the owner's fault? But you guys won 6 rings. Like, you could look at all the stuff that went wrong because it's been, I guess, just talked about to death. And you have just a huge fucking psychopath in Michael Jordan, who, like, everything has to be perfect. Like, you guys won 6 championships? You guys are, like, maybe the most iconic sports team ever? I mean, the Jordan Bulls, like, genuinely might be the most iconic American sports team. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, obviously, like, the Cowboys as a franchise, they're the most valuable franchise in the world, but the Jordan Bull teams, everyone knows what you're talking about. Is there, like, another specific team that people know more than that? Like, the Yankees, yes, as an organization, but there's not like a specific team. It's the Jordan Bulls. The Bulls are who they are because of the Jordan Bulls. The Yankees had, like, prolonged success throughout their entire franchise's history. The Bulls were good for 6 years. Like, the Yankees had like 100 years of being good, on and off, mainly on. I don't know. This was lame. And to be fair, pretty much every single Bulls fan I follow, all of the former Bulls players, all were very upset by this. So, just an unfortunate, kind of gross, just kind of a gross feeling thing. I don't know. And it was karma because they went into halftime. What was their lead at halftime? It was like 12. They went crazy. The Bulls did. In the second quarter, went absolutely nuts. The Bulls went absolutely nuts in the second quarter of this game. Looked like the Warriors were well on their way to another disastrous loss. 45 points in the second quarter. Then they give up 48. That's the new high across the NBA, huh? For points in a quarter. And that was that. And that was that. Clay went off. Kuminga had a great game. Lakers are generally more recognizable. Globally speaking, Bulls are second in terms of basketball teams. Nobody outside of America has any idea what the Cowboys or any of the NFL teams are. Yeah. I mean, the Lakers are more recognizable as a brand. But again, it's like the Jordan Bulls. Is there a more iconic, just single team? Maybe the Showtime Lakers. It's weird how it's like basketball's like that because there's not like a single. I think it's because I think in basketball it's easier to have dynasties than other sports just because if you have the best player, you have a really good chance of winning. I don't know when Draymond's supposed to be coming back. He's ramping up. Who knows what that means? But anyways, tough one for the Bulls. Karma comes around. What goes around, comes around, goes around, comes all the way back around. Shout out Justin Timberlake, one of my favorite songs of all time. All right, so I guess that was the most talked about thing across the league last night. Just unfortunate. The Pacers, without Tyrese Halliburton, some questions going to start to be asked. Is it time to answer some questions? Is it time to start answering some questions? Asking the tough ones? Tyrese Halliburton, a system quarterback? 25 minutes for TJ McConnell, 14 assists? Is Tyrese Halliburton a system QB? It does make you wonder. No. TJ McConnell is a really good playmaker. I think people were like really surprised to see this. TJ McConnell is a really good passer. That's what he does. He doesn't really score offensively. He did have 6 points in this game. Doesn't really score, doesn't really shoot. But doesn't really score, doesn't really shoot, but he is a really good playmaker on top of being an absolute pest defensively. The Pacers are still churning out wins without Tyrese Halliburton. When did he get hurt? What game did Halliburton get hurt in? Was it during this Celtics game? Right? So anyways, Pacers get a nice win, shorthanded, no Halliburton. Another terrible fucking loss from the Hawks. Trae Young. It's this roller coaster with Trae Young. I still think he's been great this season. I do think he should be an all-star. It seems to be dealing with some type of shoulder injury. That's what the excuses seem to be. He seems to be dealing with some type of shoulder injury. Was really terrible in this game, but also just had some terrible playmaking decisions, some really bad turnovers. So just not a good game for Trae Young. Even if his shoulder was injured, still not a good game for Trae. This team is just lost, man. They're just lost. This is why I was saying before the stream started. I feel his trade. I think a trade might be coming. If not today, then in the coming days. Just across the league. I feel like there are a couple teams where things are reaching points where it's like, all right, fuck this. We're not waiting another month. Let's get this shit on the road. So could that be the Hawks trading a DeJounte Murray? I mean, those rumors are ramping up a little bit. Could it be the Hawks trading a Capella or a Bogdan? I mean, who knows? But what I do know is this Hawks team stinks. Like, it's not fun anymore. They stink. They stink to high heavens. And it's time to blow them up. Kings, man. What do we make of this team? They get blown out by the Joel Embiid-less 76ers on the road, to be fair. But they looked horrible in this game. I watched like the first 3 quarters or so of this game because I thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be like one of the more entertaining games of the night, and it wasn't at all. Kings looked like utter shit. And this is why, if you have a defense, even without Embiid, I think the Sixers have the personnel to do this, but if you have the defense where we can just... Damn, the Sixers had 9 blocks as a team. Mo Bamba had 4. If you're defense and you feel like, hey, we can just close off the paint here against the Kings and just force some of their shaky three-point shooters to have to shoot threes to beat us, you got a good chance to beat them. That's exactly what the Warriors did in the playoffs. How many guys on the Kings just had disastrous playoff series last year because they couldn't hit threes? And that's exactly what happened here. 21% from 3 for Sacramento. Malik Monk went 0 of 7. Trey Lyles 1 of 5. Harrison Barnes 0 of 4. Chris Duarte, look, I know they're dealing with injuries. Is there not somebody better than Chris Duarte that they can plug in? And I'm not trying to be mean. God bless the guy. Is there not somebody else they have? Because this guy might... I'm trying to be nice. He might be one of the worst players in the league. I'm trying to be nice. I don't know what he does. I watch him. I'm like, what is it? Like, what does Chris Duarte bring to the table? Why is he starting? I really, like, this team just does nothing for me. I'm telling you, it's hard for me to get excited about anything they do because then you see games like this and it's like, oh, this is how they'll be played in the playoffs. Like, oh, this is what it'll look like in the postseason. Is there another team out there in the league like that right now where it's just like, exactly what the playoffs are going to look like for them? I don't think so. The Kings are like the only like legit good. I mean, they are a good team. They're like the only good team though, where it's like I know how this story ends for them. I can't pencil them in for like being a fun. Oh, look out! The Kings are on their way. I mean, that would surprise me. Sixers. Okay, well, the only reason we do that is because Embiid's tendency to shit himself in the playoffs. But outside of that, though, they're a great team that should be good in the playoffs. And yeah, Tobias Harris, 37 points. Respect him. It's just so funny. Every time I watch the Sixers, Tobias Harris is just playing solid, doing good things. Sixers fans act like this is the worst player on the planet. Would happily have Tobias, not at $45 million or however much he's making, but would happily have Tobias Harris on my team. Happily. Oof. Rockets beat the Pistons. I caught the fourth quarter of this one. A tough one for the Pistons. But these are losses for the Pistons that, one, you would like to win, but also, two, you can live with, despite the fact that you're 33 and 36. Because you played well. I mean, the Jaden Ivey thing this season's just been nuts. Just been nuts. He looked really good last night. He's got an insane first step. Good decision maker. Just the pressure he puts on the rim just opens up so many things for you. Yeah, Ben Simmons is easily a worse contract than Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris at least plays and is solid. Kevin Knox, 19 points on 7 of 9 shooting. I mentioned this in a video a couple days ago when I talked about Wemby because they were playing the Pistons in the game I looked at. Kevin Knox is like legit saving his career. One of the more interesting stories of the season. Like this right here, bro. Tobias Harris cycle. Play like shit mid for 30 games. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Hilarious. But the Rockets get out a win. The Thompson Twins going at each other here. Neither really played. Şengün had some big moments down the stretch. Jalen Green put up 25 shots. And that Jaden Ivey 3 at the end of the game, how on earth did that not go down? How on earth did that miss? Oh, sickening. Just got to make you feel so sick. But Jaden Ivey had a great game, though. And Monty Williams had just a hilarious quote after. Williams said there was a big organizational meeting yesterday, and one thing that was pointed out to Williams was Ivey as the lead ball handler hasn't happened much. I have to eat it. I wish we did it earlier. Holy Moses. Come on, man. Seriously? Seriously? I'm trying to find a clip of that three-pointer rimming out. I mean, seriously, it's hard for a three to look that good and not go down. Oh, my Lord. Brutal. Yeah, he did bank it. Like, it was a brick, but it almost went in, though. Tough one. What are we at now? What's the losing streak up to now for the Pistons? Are we approaching 10 again? 7? Oh, man. Tough. Heat Magic, also a hilarious ending to this one. Paolo. Of course, Paolo hits a tough fadeaway to take the lead with like 30 seconds left. I tweet out, oh, Paolo's a problem. No way he should be doing this early into his career. And then, of course, he somehow manages to smoke. I don't know what happened. I think it like slipped out of his hands from what it looked like. Slipped out of his hands for what looked like just a gimme layup that would have put the Magic ahead with like 5-10 seconds left. I mean, look at this shot, man. Woo! He's good. 40 seconds left, down 1, pulling up like that? Come on. He's nasty. I want to find a clip of him of the layup missing, just so you guys understand what happened. Unfortunately, it's just so hard. Like, so much Big Brother shit. Like, I'm really risking it scrolling on Twitter. Only a matter of time before a penis pops up. Misses that one. That's a bit of a tough shot. And this one right here, yep, just lost it. Just lost it. Unfortunate. But Bam had a good game in this one, too. Had the game-winning shot, little pull-up, mid-range. My guy Bam Adebayo, put some respect on his name. 8-man rotation for the Heat in this one. Just so undermanned. They're so hurt. Caleb Martin was good. It's good to have him back. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is just a beast. Classic. Haywood Highsmith played some great defense in this game. Tough one for the Magic. This is a tough one to let slip away. They've kind of been reeling lately, but they're dealing with so many injuries, man. They're dealing with so many injuries. They need to get healthy in the worst way imaginable. Both of these teams need to get healthy. Clippers beat the Grizzlies. Can't lie to you, I didn't watch a single second of this game, but Desmond Bane did hurt his ankle, I believe, in this one. Had to come out. Couldn't shoot the free throws. So it's possible Desmond Bane misses some time, which I don't know what this Grizzlies team did, but they need to apologize to whatever entity they pissed off along the way, because my Lord. My Lord, it's been brutal for them. But it's a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's not really a blessing. It sucks. But if you want to make a positive out of nothing, all right, young guys. All right, David Roddy. All right, Jake LaRavia. All right, Zaire Williams. Who are you? We need to figure out if you guys are going to be something for us in the future, or if we need to look to upgrade you. They do have their pick this year, yeah. So they're 14-24. Hard to imagine that they'll get like to the bottom, but they're still winning games. I don't know. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's just really unfortunate their injury luck. Absolutely crazy. What are the Clippers now? And they're like 17-3 in their last 20 or something crazy like that. I mean, a whole lot of green. This team is locked in, man. They are locked in. You hope that they're not peaking a little bit too early, but I doubt that's the case. They look really good. Are they the second best team in the West right now? We'll talk about the Nuggets here in a bit. The Nuggets last night I thought was a really impressive performance by them on national television. Would you put the Clippers second, or would you put the Thunder, Timberwolves? I think right now you'd have to say the Clippers are the second best team in the West. Then the Thunder, then the Timberwolves, in my opinion. My God, what a stacked conference. Speaking of the Timberwolves, they blow out the Blazers. The Blazers are just fucking horrible. Their average margin of defeat over the last 5 or 6 losses they've had is just crazy. Just crazy. They've given up. They've completely given up. Spurs rout the Hornets. The Hornets, this is just sad. LaMelo comes back, though, scores 28 points in 27 minutes, 16 free throws, 5 steals. So the Hornets, these teams, right? You look at teams like Utah, who we'll talk about in a second, the Thunder, the Magic. What has made their rebuild so successful? Not only do they draft good players, but they draft like really smart players. Just guys who know what they're doing, guys who know how to fit a role on a team, guys who know what to do with the ball in their hands, guys who know what to do with the ball not in their hands. The Hornets are not that. They're a brutal watch. I can't believe I fucking tricked myself into thinking anything about this shit team. They have been hurt, but my God. They're a tough one. Cody Martin is hurt again. They're a brutal watch. Wemby in 20 minutes, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 9 of 14. Had a couple disgusting dunks. He's horrifying. He is absolutely terrifying. I really don't think people understand because he's been on a minute restriction, so the stats don't like jump out at you and grab you. Especially in today's NBA, like some of these guys are so efficient, like people aren't jumping up and down anymore for 26 points on 14 shots. But in 20 minutes, this guy's gonna be a problem, man. I'm telling you. I'm a little bit scared. I really am. I'm a little bit worried. The Jazz, wow. This was a crazy game because the Raptors played like pretty well offensively. They shot 50% from 3, but just could not keep up with the Jazz. Oof, this Jazz team is good. This Jazz team is like legit good. They just have so many guys that they throw at you. Keontae George is a real player in this league, I think. 9 points on 10 shots, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, but you just watch him play and there's something about him. He does have that it factor. He's smooth offensively. Over time, he'll get a little bit more efficient. I don't know if I love him as like a point guard necessarily, but he's a good player, man. And this Jazz team, they move the ball around. Again, this is what I'm saying. Like, they just have a bunch of smart basketball players on their team. How much do you think Laurie costs on the market? Fuck ton. Like, they'd be stupid to trade him. They'd be stupid to trade him. Do you think they come down to earth after trading Olynyk, Clarkson, and Dunn at the deadline? I mean, I don't understand. Why would they do that, though? Like, maybe Olynyk because he's expiring. But they just extended Clarkson, so if they want to keep him, they could. I don't know, man. They're 20-20. Like, they might be like 6 or 7 games above 500 by the time the deadline comes around. Three first, Omax, Green, Harding, 2 seconds. Yeah, no, I don't think they even do that. I saw a hilarious Lakers fans. You gotta love them. A Lakers fan quoted a tweet because there was a tweet yesterday that said that, hey, Markkanen could be got. Paraphrasing, of course, but that's basically what the tweet said. And a Lakers fan quote tweeted it and was like, "See, this is who you trade Austin Reeves for." It's like, oh my god. Oh my god. I actually don't think the Lakers could trade anything for Markkanen. Like, would the Jazz do Markkanen for AD? Why would they do that? Markkanen for LeBron? Why would they do that? Yeah, most sane Lakers fan. And the Nuggets beat the Pelicans. I thought this was a statement win for the Nuggets in a lot of ways. The Pelicans have been one of the best teams in the league over the last month or so. I think by net rating, they've been the best team in the league over the last 10 games, is what I saw. And the Nuggets just put their foot down. They said, "No, we are the best team in the West. We are the best team in the West. Like, when we want to be, we'll just flip a switch, and there's nothing you can do. There's just nothing you can do against us." The Pelicans tried their hardest in the fourth quarter. Zion had 30 points in this game. How many did he have in the fourth? He had to have close to 20 points in the fourth quarter alone. And the Nuggets just answered every single mini run the Pelicans went on. Every single bucket Zion had, the Nuggets answered with a shot of their own. BI was nowhere to be found in this game. It was just a nice, solid performance from the Nuggets. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists for Jokic. He had a crazy over-the-head pass to Aaron Gordon. Jokic was just playing with his food out there. Aaron Gordon had a great game. Jamal Murray had some tough shots. He had a great game. Peyton Watson. I love watching this guy play. His stats don't jump out, but he's just a ball of energy, and he's so good defensively. And he has one or two jaw-dropping athletic moments a game. Are the Pelicans going to rest some players tonight? So, yeah, the Mavericks play the Pelicans tonight. We were kind of wondering last night because all of their guys were listed as questionable for this game, most of their guys at least. And we're kind of wondering, do the Pelicans take the Nuggets game more seriously or the Mavericks game? Because you could look at it and say, oh, well, we're only 3 or 4 games back of the Nuggets. We think we're good. We might need that tiebreaker. Or we're neck and neck right now at the Mavericks. That's kind of where we think we're at in that 4, 5, 6, 7 range. We need those tiebreakers. But yeah, the Pelicans had a horrible, brutal back-to-back. I can't believe the NBA scheduled this back-to-back for them. A late start time game against the Nuggets. Game started at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, so a late game. I could have sworn they took these out. The back-to-backs where you're losing hours. I could have sworn they took those out. But yes, I did see, what was it, the Pelicans sideline reporter or something like that tweeted out that they arrived at their hotel in Dallas at 4:35 in the morning. And of course, they play the Mavericks tonight. That is just brutal, man. That is just brutal. So, if I had to make a prediction, I'd have to guess that they're resting guys tonight. Would be my guess. But either way, you would like to see the Mavericks take advantage of that. Just kind of punch them in the mouth early. See if they get their legs underneath them. Yeah, the Mavs are the betting favorites, which is interesting to me. So that was the slate of games last night. We got a pretty busy slate of games tonight. Pelicans, Mavericks, we just talked about that one. Pelicans, brutal back-to-back. Rockets, Celtics, Rockets on a back-to-back. Wizards, Hawks, Hawks on a back-to-back. Knicks, Grizzlies, Grizzlies on a back-to-back. Warriors, Bucks, Warriors on a back-to-back. Magic, Thunder, Magic on a back-to-back. Bulls, Spurs, both on a back-to-back. Lakers, Jazz, Jazz on a back-to-back. Jesus Christ. Every single one of these games has a team on the second night of a back-to-back. Come on, man. Yeah, we'll have to keep track of how many of those teams lose. I mean, just looking at them, right? Rockets, well, you don't expect them to beat the Celtics either way. Hawks, come on now. Please. Don't really expect the Grizzlies to beat the Knicks. Don't expect the Warriors to beat the Bucks. You don't really expect the Magic to beat the Thunder. Lakers are favorites in this game. Huh. I feel like Lakers and Jazz games are always just batshit insane. Yeah, I agree. The NBA needs to clean this stuff up. If that is shortening the schedule a little bit, I'm for it. I used to not be for it because I was just like, well, I love basketball and the more games, the better. No, I think it would be just a better product, a better viewing experience as well. If you kept the calendar length the exact same, shorten the schedule, and spread these games out. Spread these games out so we can watch more games. So there's not, 8 games happening at once and you can't keep up with everything. What time do the Cowboys play on Sunday? 3:30, right? Lively is questionable. Lively and Maxey have both been upgraded to questionable. Cowboys play at 3:30 on Sunday. I'm going to live tweet the Pacers Nuggets game on Twitter as a joke. So anyways, not really an interesting slate of games tonight. I mean, the back-to-backs just really ruin it. They really kill the vibe. Mavs Pelicans will still be interesting. I mean, this is a pretty important game. The Nets are open to moving Dorian Finney-Smith. I did see that. The Nets are open to moving everybody. They're terrible. I know everybody will make less money, but at a certain point, I think it'll just be better for the future of your league. You shorten the season, you keep guys healthier, you improve the product, and you spread the games out so it's easier to keep up with the games. Like, more people will tune in, more people will follow. It'll be easier for people to follow. It'll be easier for people to follow teams that they might not follow otherwise. Locked on Nets guys want a Josh Green, Omax, and a second for Dorian Finney-Smith. It's kind of a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm really. I feel like I'm just really against just trading some of the young guys for older guys, unless the older guys are really good, like Siakam. So that's what's going on. Not a lot of like substantial rumors in the past 24 hours. It does sound like DeJounte Murray's going to get traded. It does, I guess, sound like Siakam's going to get traded. I still don't really know if Mark Stein's going on the radio show. He's going to have Tim Hardaway Jr. on. It's funny because everyone's going to be asking him or wanting him to talk about the trade rumors, knowing full well that Tim Hardaway Jr. is the one. That will be getting traded. I might not do a video today, honestly. I don't have like an idea really. I'd have to start working on it soon. I just kind of want to sit down. You know? I just kind of want to sit. You ever have those days? Just sit. I don't want to do shit. This will be a bit of a shorter episode. Slightly soft. Yeah, it is what it is. I just don't want to force out a video and it'd be shit. I don't know what to talk about. Watch some college basketball and report back to us how bad it is. All right, maybe we potential Siakam destinations. Let's just do a little rough draft of what a ranking would look like, just in terms of how good of a fit it would be, how fun it would be, and let's try to be as unbiased as possible. How many teams have there for sure been interest in Siakam? Lakers, Suns, Clippers have to be top 3. Okay, Lakers, Suns, and Clippers aren't getting. Okay. I think the Mavs are number 1. Now let me. Obviously, I said not to be biased, but just thinking about it objectively, Luka's playing like one of the best players in the world. When he was healthy, he was the best player in the world. Kyrie's been incredible. He's playing like somebody who should for sure be an all-star. I don't think he's going to make the all-star game. He's just missed a lot of time, but you can also say one thing. Kyrie stands, please fucking lay off of me. Okay, just because I don't call Kyrie Irving a superstar doesn't mean I don't like him. I clearly love the guy. Any team trading for Siakam is willing to give him a max. Pacers. It's interesting. It is interesting. Indiana is interesting. Warriors have poked around on the trade market to upgrade its center. Golden State has also had great desire to get off long-term salary, making Andrew Wiggins likely candidate to get moved for the deadline. Who the hell wants him? Who the hell wants him? I think the Mavs just on-court fit. I think it raises their ceiling more than any other team. Does that make sense? It raises the ceiling of the Mavericks more than it would any other potential Siakam team. Now, would the Mavericks want to give up all of that? Would the Mavericks be comfortable paying him $40 million, considering they're already paying Kyrie so much money and Luka so much money? That's where the interesting stuff pops in to the equation. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I'm pro trading for Siakam if the price is right. Giving him $40 million a year is spooky. Like that's scary. It's not some low risk, hey, let's just do it. there's no reason not to. Like there's some risk involved. There's some risk involved there. He's a guy whose game is very whose game is dependent a little bit on athleticism, and that's spooky when a guy reaches 30 and you're just now talking about giving him a max. Would Indiana be second? I kind of think the Sixers maybe. Indiana or the Sixers? Indiana's kind of a fun. Oh, wow, Indiana got Siakam. Kings is interesting. All right. So I'm happy we're workshopping this because I'm just now realizing this is a terrible video. I'm just now realizing this would just be a horrible video. So thankfully we've workshopped this. I'm not doing it. Like this is legit a terrible video. Mavs number 1. That's all that matters. And then all the other teams afterwards. I also don't want to do like just making a video about trade rumors shit. I don't know. That's not what I really want my channel to be honest. We can do that stuff here. Utah is so interesting. I kind of feel like they might do something. I kind of feel like they might do something that shocks us. Like actually trade for somebody. Oh, I'm doing a full trade deadline prediction video. But I don't know who would it be? Like what makes sense for Utah? It would have to be somebody who's probably under contract. What type of players should the Jazz need? Would the Jazz need? I feel like their team is versatile enough that they could fit in a lot of different players. But at the same time, I think it just makes sense for them to just ride this thing out, see what you got. You still have just so much access. Just so many different picks. Şengün? I mean, Şengün's really good. Are you saying trade-wise? There's just no way in hell he gets traded. Let's go on. I'm scrolling Fanspo to see if any Jazz fans maybe have an idea. Kyle Lowry and Jovic, but it's all people trying to pawn pieces off the Jazz, not realizing the Jazz are actually really good and are just going to give away players. Like this one right here. The Knicks get Keontae George. The Jazz get Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and a first. Why in the fuck? The Cavs could have interest in Wiggins. Magic community. If the Warriors only wanted salary relief expiring since some insignificant second round picks, would you pull the trigger on Andrew Wiggins? I'm telling you, man, that's a lot of money. I wouldn't be comfortable doing it. It's like nobody is serious about Utah trades. You know, nobody's serious about them. People don't realize that they're good. Gordon Hayward goes back to Utah. What is Jet Howard up to? I have heard nothing about him. Is he like hurt or something? What's he doing? Is Jet Howard injured? I have genuinely not heard a single thing about Jet Howard. He's in the G League. Is he playing well? 20 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 37% from 3. Okay, not terrible. This is kind of weird, bizarre, a lottery pick, and I genuinely have not heard a word about him. All right, anyways. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can check these out live on playback.tv/slightlybiased every morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.